It's Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. Quick update on where I am in the process. I had some disappointing news yesterday from my egg donor bank. I matched with somebody about 2.5 weeks ago, met with my member advocate at the egg bank. Everything looked fine on my side, and then she had to set up a meeting with the egg donor herself, which got pushed by a week and happened yesterday. And lo and behold, and this was nowhere specified in her profile, she will not go to a state that has any type of abortion restriction. So since my clinic is in Dallas, she will not go to Dallas. My only option is to switch clinics, which I am not going to do. So I crafted this email back to the person to explain, reasoning behind it and give them some feedback on their process. The whole thing is a lot more complicated than I expected. I really thought the surrogacy part would be more difficult finding a match, and maybe it's going to be more difficult, but nowhere in what I learned about this whole process did anybody say that it's going to take a really long time to find an egg donor because all the stars have to align. This is my fifth failure, technically my third with this one company. The first one, my clinic wouldn't take frozen eggs from that clinic. The second one failed the AMH test. And now this one has severe restrictions about the states she'll travel to for the process. So I don't know where things are going to stand right now. I'm quite bummed. I have one other person identified there. I'm going to see if I can get her to do a video for me as well, because videos are really important. But here's what I basically told them. 4 bullet points. Egg donors need to understand that intended parents spend a lot of time choosing their fertility clinic based on a number of factors, including cost, but more importantly, success rates. If they don't have high success rates, the chances of obtaining a pregnancy are greatly diminished. So we're unlikely to change clinics just because an egg donor doesn't want to use our clinic for whatever reason. That is a ton of work for an intended parent to redo and has a ripple effect. It's a million times easier to just move on and find another donor. The intended parent is footing the bill for them getting eggs to start their own family. This is specific to this company, which would cost them a fortune if they had to do it themselves. That's a really good deal for them in lieu of being compensated, which would most likely not get them the same results. So I feel like they should understand where we're coming from and consider how their flexibility helps make this happen. Second point, I think the flexibility of the co-fertility model, which is local clinic versus traveling to the intended parents clinic, may be attractive to egg donors, but it creates this issue. Clearly, it helps co-fertility attract egg donors by making things easier for them, but their focus is only on the egg retrieval and not my successful creation of embryos. They can choose whatever clinic they want to make their embryos when they get to that point, and will have to do the same detailed analysis that I did. To help avoid the situation, egg donors should be asked this question up front, namely flexibility and restrictions around clinics, and there should be a section in their profile for this question and their answer. Also, ask them that in light of restrictive abortion and or IVF legislation, are there states they would refuse to travel to for the fertility treatment? This particular donor may not have fully formed an opinion on this issue until she was confronted with a request to consider my clinic in Dallas, but it's important that egg donors think through this upfront and state their position when creating their profiles. Next point, all showstoppers such as this should be explicitly stated in the profile. I've seen other donors tell which states they will travel to. This particular donor didn't disclose this, and if she had, I would never have chosen her, and I've waited 2.5 weeks to find out that we were never going to be a match. I look for red flags when reviewing profiles so I can rule potential donors out. If a red flag isn't visible to me, then I'm making the wrong decision. Final point, I assumed disclosed was pretty well understood to mean some type of open communication for the rest of our lives and the children's ability to meet the egg donor at some point if they want to. Now I realize disclosed is just a generic term reflecting that she is open to direct communications outside of the egg bank, but isn't spelled out and legally agreed to until you sign a contract with the egg donor. This, again, is something not agreed to upfront and can result in a stalemate down the road after the intended parent has funded some or all of the medical and other screening, which I want to avoid at all costs. I mean, why would I want to spend $5,000 to $6,000 only to find out she refuses to meet my children at some point in the future. That's a deal breaker for me. And I want to find out deal breakers right up front. Egg donors should describe in words what disclosed means to them, not just check a box that says disclosed or undisclosed. Disclosed isn't as black and white as it sounds. And if there's a gap, an intended parent will not choose that egg donor. It's another red flag that should be visible right up front. So that's where I am today. I think I'm entitled to a full refund because she is officially rejecting me. I'm not rejecting her. But my profile has basically been locked for the last 2.5 weeks. So as new donors become available, I don't even get to see them because I have already picked this one person. And that kind of makes things bad for me because the right egg donor could have popped up and I would have never seen her. So when they unlock my account, there'll be hopefully a slew of new people to look at. But in the meantime, there is one other person I had my eye on. She's based in Miami, but again, she doesn't have a video and I really need to see a video. It goes a long way to helping me decide if she's the right person or not. Otherwise, you're matching with them again and you're waiting 2-3 weeks for the potential of having a Zoom call, at which point you could decide you don't really want them because of what you learned during that call. So a video helps me figure that out much sooner in the process. That's all for now. I wish I could say I'm having a better day, but I'm not. Ta-ta.